Welcome back to another episode of Underdog Podcast. We're going to talk about Black History Month, flat out, right out the gate. Black History Month is bullshit. It's bullshit. And it's not bullshit because of what it means to people. It's bullshit because it's a corporate thing. So when you have like Asian American History Month, Hispanic Month, usually when we talk about these things, we're talking about in the context of these immigrants coming over and bringing their culture, bringing their identity, bringing different things with them. When we talk about Black History Month, we're not talking about Black people willingly coming over to America. And if you go along with the whole slavery thing, which is bullshit, slavery didn't happen the way you thought it happened. So you don't say White History Month because, well, white history is taught all the time in schools, right? But white history or white people or European or pale-skinned people, whatever, they're not thought of as immigrants in America. They're thought of as they started America. Why? Because, well, our American textbooks are Eurocentric. So they're European-based. So my mindset is, why is Black History Month always seem as, oh, we're opening up America, we're teaching about Black history, as if Black people, in a sense, came over willingly to share their culture. You get what I'm saying? So you can't say Black History Month and then have Hispanic History Month and then have Asian American History Month. You can't, those don't go together, because you have a lot of those, a lot of that population that came over to America voluntarily, as opposed to Black history where we're talking about slavery and shit. If you want to go along with that, which is a lie, but if you want to go along with that concept about slavery and Black people coming over, then it's kind of condescending when you think about it, to be like, oh, here's Black History Month. Oh, here's the 28 days, right? Here's the shortest fucking month. Here's the shortest fucking month for you to celebrate your Black history, your Black culture. And every fucking year, every chance I get, if I can just talk about Black History Month and just talk about how dumb it is, I take my chance to talk about how dumb it is. Because Black history is American history. Because we're not talking about immigrants coming over. We're not talking about slavery either. We're talking about the indigenous, dark-skinned people that have been here. And then you say that sometimes to people, and they're like, well, Native Americans? No. Actually do your own research. Get on the internet. Use the internet for more than just entertainment. Educate yourself, man. Feed your mind. Stop looking at so much porn or something. Where the fuck it is going on in your head. Because when you think about Black history, it's become such a corporate thing. I mean, majority of these holidays have become corporate, right? Majority of these holidays are about, let's celebrate this, let's celebrate that, and let's throw it on a fucking t-shirt. Because you can go in talking about, what's that? Black Lives Matter. Oh my God, that was a sham. That was a sham from the beginning. But look how many years it took people to realize it was a sham. What, 5, 6? These things that act as if they're for the culture, or they want to uplift and encourage people and bring knowledge to people, they're not real, man. They're not authentic. They don't give a fuck about nobody. It's not to say that the people that are involved in it are not genuine about it, but a lot of times, a lot of people ain't shit, man. They're not real about it. I was watching an NBA game yesterday, and I see different highlights, and all you see is, Black History Month, Black History Month. You really fucking think that those white owners, right? We're going to play this whole race card because people like that shit. You really think that those white owners give a fuck about Black History Month? You really think those Black players, you really think they give a fuck about Black History Month? You really think, and then think about when you were a kid in school, right? I'm 36. So think about it. We always learn about Martin Luther King. God forbid if you learn about Malcolm X. And then when you learn about, God forbid you learn about Black Panther Party. You're not learning about Huey P. Newton. right? You're not learning about anyone that might seem radical. So even the Black History shit is kind of like it's soft. So you're not really learning no actual Black history, even though it's Black History Month. Oh, you'll learn that so and so invented the lawnmower, or so and so helped was with Thomas Edison and helped make the light bulb and stuff like that. It's so condescending in the manner in which it's being brought out. And I just feel like it always has to be brought up and discussed about, and it's gonna piss people off. And well, people will call me an Uncle Tom or a coon or whatever, but hey, I'm gonna put this shit out there. I'm gonna put it out there because it's bullshit. You shouldn't have Black History Month and try to elevate it to something that is not. It's not. And then a lot of the shit they talk about is his story. It's not factual. It's someone's fucking story. Think about it. We're learning about Black history from white people. You're learning about from white people. And you can't even count African Americans as part of Black history because it's not. It's not. We're talking about something different, man. Because we should be talking about actual immigrants. Because when you talk, like I said, when you're talking about Hispanic History Month, or you're talking about Asian American History Month, stuff, shit like that, was it Asian American Pacific Islander? They are just throwing out any fucking word together. I get it, but damn. But when you talk about those things, we're talking about immigrants. But when we talk about Black History Month, when we talk about Black history, we're not talking about immigrants. We're sold on the idea of slavery. Okay. So when we talk about Black history, it all has to be about slavery. But we don't talk about the Black people that own a lot of fucking slaves. You see where I'm going with all this? Like, we just want to feel good about something. We want to acknowledge something. Everybody wants to feel a part of something as a collective and try to find their identity in that. And that's cool. And that's fine. Appreciate the likes, by the way. But that's good and shit. But at the same time, what does it do for anyone? What are we actually learning? What are we trying to build? What are we trying to recognize a culture? I say this often. Black History Month. Black. This is fucking black. Obviously when I put the podcast up, you'll be able to see the video too. This is fucking black. You telling me my skin matches this black ass motherfucking shirt. But I'm supposed to recognize Black History Month, even though you're fucking making fun of me. Even though you're being derogatory towards me. But I'm supposed to recognize Black History Month. But Hispanic Month is Hispanic. Spain. It's Spona. Oh, I fucked that all up. And then Asian American History Month, which is actually kind of bullshit because you're talking about the Asian continent, which doesn't exist. Asia is not a continent. How is Europe a continent and then Asia is a continent when it's one collective landmass? It's Eurasia. There's a reason why Chinese people, Japanese people are still pale skinned and look like the people from England and United Kingdom and stuff, but just different hair colors. There's a reason for all that. It's environment. But anyway, that's going somewhere else. So to see stuff be like, oh, Black History Month, it's still a knockdown on so-called black people in America. Because you're not black. Why would they call it Brown History Month? They don't even know what to even fucking call it. Well, I take that back. They do know what to call it. It's intentional. It's always intentional. Now, who's behind it? At this point, I wouldn't say it doesn't matter. Cause and effect always applies, universal laws. So cause and effect, it does matter where the origin of all this came from. But it's 2023 in the so-called made-up calendar that we go by. And you're telling me that in this time and day, people of my skin tone in America still have no problem being called black? People this day and age still have no problem being called black. I don't understand that. But you know what? We're going to do a nice little round of applause for it. Nice little round of applause. You want to be called black? Congratulations. You played yourself. I played myself. And I'm part of that category because for years I was under the mindset that, oh yeah, I'm black and I'm proud. Not realizing that, wait, why am I being called black? And since when is being called black a good thing? Anytime you think of black, what do you think of? Something negative, something bad. When you're afraid at night and it's in the darkness, it's black. Yet I'm supposed to be proud of Black History Month, but you can't make this shit make sense because it doesn't and it never will because it's about psychological manipulation through people's emotions. I remember in school growing up, and it'll be Black History Month, and they'll say, "Hey, find a black person or whatever, find a black person." That's so racist. Find a black person in history to that shit made me actually cry. Dying laughing over here. But find a black person in history to write something about. So what do? You pick out, oh, let me write about Martin Luther King. Even though he's a womanizer, but he still did good things. Let me talk about Martin Luther King. Let me talk about Harriet Tubman, which Underground Railroad. Do your research. Dig into that stuff. Hell, you can talk about Uncle Tom, the actual Uncle Tom from the actual fucking book, which was a hero. How that got flipped around and now someone like myself is called an Uncle Tom in a derogatory manner. At what point are we going to stop with this charade? At what point are people going to be like, you know what? Enough of this bullshit, man. Maybe we don't need to label all these different cultures and races and stuff. Because how long has America been around in the sense of America? How long has it been a melting pot? What is American history? At this point, 2023, American history is everyone's fucking history. But we're going to recognize certain things, then let's try to be objective about it and not try to push an agenda. Fucking February, bro. 28 days. My bad. Leap year, 29 days. You get an extra fucking day to celebrate your black history. Why make myself laugh? Every fucking year, man. And it's just, I'm on Amazon. Black History Month movies. Shit, I think it was at one point where I even pulled up on, I play Xbox. I didn't put up on Xbox Live or something like that, Black History Month. You telling me I got to learn about Black History Month from Amazon? Amazon Prime Video? I got to learn from Xbox? I got to learn from these European textbooks in school? I got to go down to somewhere in my city or somewhere in your city, you have a local festival, and then they won't call Black History Month. And if they do, they might call it, and they'll put that bitch on a shirt and sell it to you. They'll put Black History Month on a black t-shirt and sell it to you for $20. And people will call that capitalism. That's not capitalism. That's just fucked up business. That's what that is. There's no ethics in business. But they will do that. Marketing scheme. Black Lives Matter would do something like that. Put shit on a shirt and sell it to you. And then have the money go to it'd be a non-profit organization and have the money go to charity that no one ever fucking sees. All these fucking things are scams. I'm just gonna call it what it is. All these fucking things are scams. It's not to say that they cannot be authentic, but they're not happening from an organic manner. They're not happening from a grassroots up. It's not happening from us regular common people. It's happening from someone saying, oh, we should do this, we should do that. We should do this, blah, blah. And all of a sudden you'll hear a price go along with that. But not necessarily a price to fund things and have an infrastructure and grow a community, but a price to profit from it, which is fine. All these things are fine. It's just be honest about it. If you want to just say Black History Month, Asian American History Month, fucking whatever month you want to have, and you want to use it to sell things, that's okay. But they'll never come out and say that because it just seems, well, disingenuous. But to me, I have more respect for corporations and people that do that. People like, hey, you know what? I'm going to promote this way to help grow my business. I'm okay with that. But a lot of times, that's not the case. Sometimes that's just not the case. I'm trying to think of like, there was I remember just doing different reports when I was a kid. You know what? I'll take you to this moment. It was while I was in the Air Force, I was going through ALS, which was Airman Leadership School. So it's basically once you make E5, you put on a staff sergeant, NCO, non-commissioned officer in the Air Force, you have to go through this supervisory training. And it's literally a corporate level supervisory training. It's corporate training. So as I was going through it, it might have been around the time Black History Month, now I think about it. But we was talking about something. We was talking about different radical groups and something like that. And someone in the classroom mentioned Black Panther Party. And then my teacher, my instructor was like, oh, yeah. Like, yeah, that's a radical group. And I'm like, what the fuck? When the fuck did the Black Panther Party become a radical group? They were a localized group. You can tell that. And then they were a reaction to what was going on in the environment. But then it's something like that because if you say it's Black History Month, it's okay. But the second you bring up certain things like Black Panther Party or other certain groups like that aren't just that. If it's not Malcolm, if it's not Martin Luther King, then it's not Black history. Taught in school, taught out publicly, shown on fucking TV. If it's not on the lines of Martin Luther King, then it's not fucking Black history. I remember seeing something with LeBron James a couple years ago, and he was acting like he was reading a book, and it was Malcolm X. And it's like, bro, there's no fucking way you're reading Malcolm X. Because Malcolm X talked about Negroes like you. You know what I'm saying, man? Like, these motherfuckers still alive, they wouldn't recognize this shit. But because people just go along with things, they just say, fuck it. Oh, this is Black History Month. Yep, this is how it's done. You know, yep, we're going to celebrate this. Oh, it's Black History Month. We go along with it. There's so many times where when I was younger and I'll be at work and stuff, I'm like, bro, I'm not fucking working. Black History Month. It's time for America and these corporations to continuously make up fucking history. That's all it is. That's all it is. For them to constantly change the narrative, to constantly make up a fucking story that, for the most part, is not even agreed upon. In reality, it's just about us hearing stuff and being manipulated into these things. It's propaganda. You call it what it is. It's propaganda. It's propaganda until it's authenticated and its origins come from grassroots and it's an organic movement. I'm going to call it what it is. Propaganda. Designed to make you feel a certain way, designed for you to donate money to certain corporations, companies, so-called nonprofit organizations, all that shit. We got to end this shit, man. We got to stop it. We can find other ways to recognize so-called different cultures and different things like that. But you'll never hear a White History Month. And you'll say, oh, because white history is always taught. Exactly. So that means the history books that are taught to our children in school, the things that put on our TV shows, our social media in America, it all needs to be erased and redone. It all needs to be redesigned. But if we, the average person, we, the people, don't take the initiative to do that, it will always be brought up by people in a corporate infrastructure, where someone with a president, some board, some organization, something like that. Every fucking year, Black History Month. Makes no sense. And every year, we'll continue to do this Black History shit. Maybe one day we'll stop. Maybe one day we'll change the name. Maybe one day it'll be authentic. Maybe the origin, fuck it. Fuck the old origins. We'll make up our own shit. We'll call it something whole different. And it won't feel like it's excluding people or recognizing people. It'll be inclusive, and it'll be recognizing that, hey, this is the history of the so-called land. And we're just going to rewrite the shit and make it our own. Fuck it. I don't know. We'll figure that shit out. So until next time.